Hey friends, what's up? This is Ashton Kaylee, and this week I wanted to just have a real chat with you guys about the importance of exploring, playing with your materials, and just letting it all hang loose. So this week I thought I would do a little gouache study. I used this picture from Pinterest that happened to have a dead link. The image is of a religious statue, and I don't want to have any of that kind of connotation with my piece. I just liked the expression. She looked kind of contemplative and kind of sad, and the finished piece to me looks kind of like Liechtenstein. So I used that reference just while I was doing a light sketch, and then I put away the picture and just went to town with the paints. On this picture, I'm using mostly the Caran d'Ache 15 color studio set. I also pulled a few colors from the Arteza gouache set and one from my Holbein primary colors. And the reason why I was able to do this without really thinking too much about where to get each color was because I always swatch my colors. And if you see here, I put those swatches up on my desk so I could see what I had available. This is a really great practice, and if you don't do so, I would recommend checking out the video here about that because it makes such a huge difference. And if you want to know more about the Caran d'Ache paints themselves, I also did a demo and review right here. And that picture, I think at the time I liked a lot more than I was liking this one. This piece I was doing solely for fun to actually practice some gouache because, to be honest, gouache is the paint medium that I am least familiar and comfortable with. But I don't think that should ever stop you from using your materials and just having fun with it. I think it's really important to play with your materials this way, especially if you're uncomfortable with it, because that's how you're going to learn and get comfortable with each new thing. It's very easy to get caught up in wanting to have a beautiful finished piece. I mean, of course, who doesn't? But that's what sketchbooks are for. And granted, this piece here is not in a sketchbook, but that's simply because I don't really like wet media in any kind of sketchbook. I reviewed the Arteza watercolor books before, and while I do like them, I've still not found a comfortable way to work in them and have the paper not buckle on me. The binder clips, I tried taping it down. It's just not my preference. I much prefer to work on loose sheets taped down to hardboards like I'm doing here. But everyone's different. You do you. It's fine. This piece I did purely as an experiment and exploration. I just wanted to get my hands on the gouache today. Like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with it, so it's a good practice to just get outside your comfort zone a little bit and use what you have. I think so many times, and I am so guilty of this in the past, being afraid to waste the materials, and that's honestly a terrible practice. It's going to keep you from learning the medium and making some great art. I find that this kind of wild exploration and playing with it leads to a lot of things. You get comfortable with the material, you might actually pop out something you like, you learn something about your personal style or things that don't work, and that makes your future work better. So I'm also trying some new brushes as well. I got the detail pack from Treckle, and those are these black brushes here. They come in a multi-pack. You get a couple of twos and threes, so they're quite small. I find that it's just enough to dedicate a couple of brushes to different paint mediums. I like them. They don't come to a really fine point with gouache, but that's because gouache is like super thick, and they do seem to be a good size for what I was using them for. But this is not really a review video. This is more about that exploring and playing with your materials. I think most of our learning comes from actually doing. We could watch YouTube videos and tutorials, read all the books, and still not get as far as we might if we just sit down and try it. And personally, I felt like the last few weeks I've had a little bit of an art block, so it felt really good to just play with it and not worry about what is to come of this piece afterwards. I didn't love it at first, but as I started to edit the video, it did grow on me. I thought of the Liechtenstein, and it's not wholly realistic. Her eyes are obviously too big. It's a little cartoony, but that's what I like about it. And that is the whole purpose of exploring. You can see when you're done the things that you could have done better, more successfully, what you might like to try next time. It's all about learning and improving. So I think this piece was worth its weight in gold. Mind you, it's not very heavy as it is just a piece of paper, but emotionally and physically, it just felt really good for me to do. And in a day that we don't like to share anything but the highlight reel, I think it's important to be real about the process, enjoy the process, and keep going forward, anyways, even when we stumble or we're not that fond of what just happened. So there it is, guys, just a short chat for today. I hope that you are well and enjoying your process exploring and playing. If you're interested in any of the materials, as always, those are linked down in the description where applicable. Doesn't really matter. Use what you got, have fun with it, and keep on working, guys. Make that art. As always, thanks for watching and happy creating.